Hi, and welcome to another one of my videos. This one I'm going to be looking at ukuleles again. Recently, as you may know, I've been making a bunch of these ukuleles out of recycled material for some indigenous tribes to play. So that's been pretty cool. I like a challenge, and one of the challenges is to not only make them well and that they sound good, but they also look good. So I've been rising to the challenge and trying out different methods of putting rosettes into there, of different styles and different ways, and I've developed a number of techniques for doing that sort of thing, and also for doing the lines around the edges. But I thought in this video that I would show you how I managed to get those inserted so very millimetrical, very precisely, so that it looks pretty good. It's all basically technique rather than skill. So I'll show you how I did this one. Now, having made my a rosette, and we'll look at making rosettes in another video, probably nice and thin, I have tacked it to a piece of paper and cut out the hole so that I can position it properly. And I'm going to use some calipers to measure the widths of all of the edges up a tad. And then I'm going to tack it once again with some glue, 1, 2, 3, on the back, and tack it down there so I can now cut and score for making the recess. Now, using a very sharp knife, I'm going to cut right up against that and cut through the paper and score into the body, so that that paper helps me to make sure that there's a good score there and I don't have the grain make the knife wander off. Do it lightly at first and then go around several times just to deepen that score, inside and outside. I'm going to go around a couple of times just to deepen that score mark down to preferably about 1 millimeter depth, if you can sort of guess that. Since that was just tacked on, I'm going to stick my knife under there and just carefully lever that off. Now comes the careful part. With a very sharp chisel, I'm going to be digging in and chiseling out 1 millimeter of depth. Now, I have made a depth gauge. It's just basically a block of wood with a screw through it, a recess cut out so you can see the point, and when you have it here, you screw the screw in or out to the depth that you want, and in this case here we have it screwed into 1 millimeter, and that's our depth gauge. And so there I just bridge that gap there and have the point into the recess and move around, and that will give you a score or some marks to then go down to the depth that you want. So I need to take out a little bit more here. Then ultimately I'm going to use it as a router just to make sure that it's completely level. Clean the fuzz off with a chisel. If I remove that paper and sand that back off a little bit, that should go in there very, very precisely and not move. I'm going to make sure I get sand all of that paper backing off. Now apply some glue into that recess. And then insert it into there. So the fretboard's going to come down on there to cover up this part here. I'm going to round it out there so it'll look nice. And before the glue is fully set, just when it's sticking and not moving, but not totally dry, I like to start to sand it lightly at first to make sure it's not going to damage the rosette, but then apply a little more pressure to help bed that in and help spread it out and fill any gaps and things. And the sawdust helps to fill any minute gaps that there might be, and the heat also from the sandpaper helps to dry it out some more and bed it in. So when it's dry, you're going to sand it right off flush, and when you get some varnish on it, it will look quite spectacular.